Every day, we strive to preserve traditions that have spanned generations.
Around every turn of the bayou, Mother Nature reveals unique people, places, and experiences.
And the bounty of animals and fish. Well, in Louisiana, we just call that lagniappe. I'm Don Dubuque.
I'm Chris LeCoq.
I'm Captain Martha Spencer. Join us as we document the adventure,
Sportsmanship,
and heritage that make us Bayou Wild. Welcome back to Bayou Wild TV for a very special episode from White Oak Estate and Gardens, one of our favorite places.
It's certainly a great place to come, not only for its beauty, but for its tastes. And Bayou Wild makes a point in every episode to talk about cooking, because not everybody hunts and fishes, but everybody eats food. And that's really what unites everybody with our show. And we cook things from wild game to backyard foods to boucheries.
Well, it's very important, particularly in Louisiana, because food is part of the culture, just like hunting and fishing is. And it's always good to be able to show people what the end product is when you go out and you hunt and fish. And there's nobody more on top of the game than Chef John Folse.
Just treating a simple fish, one of our best fish. You can even put a little hollandaise sauce on. You can even get hollandaise in the store nowadays. Now, doesn't that look like carnival?
I'm
Fit
telling
for a
you.
king,
You
huh?
know what I got to say about that? They say hail Rex, I say hail yes.
Yeah, well, I've learned he's aggressive when he cooks. There's no specific amount of this
No.
and that measured at all.
That's kind of the beauty of it.
That is. It makes it really good. And if you'd like to try any of these at home, you can find them online at BayouWildTV.com, jfolse.com, or you might want to pick up, if you're feeling pretty strong, a couple of his books after the hunt, and also Hooks, Lies, and Alibis, some great recipes, and also a lot of historical fact and some cultural discussion in those books. Great books.
So stay with us. In this episode, we're going to share with you some of our favorite recipes from Bayou Wild TV.
So why don't we go ahead and put that right in here. You've seasoned it nicely. And you see I'm putting it in that nice hot skillet, right?
You want it to sizzle.
You want it to sizzle. And a lot of times people say, well, my fish breaks apart in the skillet. Why is that? Well, you got to let the oil dance around the fish or the meat and let it just crisp and cook on that side before you try to flip it over.
I think people they get carried away with one side cooking too much, and then they end up flipping it too many times, and it falls apart.
And it just falls apart on them. So why don't you give me that little bit stock over there? I have just a little bit. Just pour about a half a cup in there for me. That's good. I'm going to just wet all of these carrots and mushrooms and all of that. And then right next to it, you see that cream, that heavy whipping cream over there?
Oh, this one.
Oh, yeah, he had cattle. Put about a half a cup of that in there. Oh, that's perfect right there. And I'm going to just cook all of this around to tenderize those vegetables. And again, this is typical of the 1700s because we don't eat that many vegetables today on one.
That is one thing we lack.
Yeah. We just kind of get a few carrots or a little white beans or red beans on the plate. They had an array of all of these different vegetables. So what do you think about your fish?
I think it's almost ready to flip.
Yeah, I think it is. Why don't you go ahead and grab it, and you could either do it like a fish spat or just turn it over. Look at that.
Perfect.
Now, we didn't even put flour on the outside of that fish, right?
Don't need it.
You don't need it. Just got that nice crispness there. Now, you want to keep the inside of it nice and moist, but at the end of the day, the sauce is going to go on the bottom of the plate. We're going to season this. Why don't you give me a little salt, pepper? I'll dust it in there like that. And give me that Creole mustard, see right here? And I can put that in there as well. And you give me the lemon juice. So you see the fish is the main act. Yeah, just put a little bit of lemon juice in there. That's perfect. That's the main act, but at the end of the day, the sauce is going to bring the fish to fruition. Look at that right there, how beautiful that is.
Yeah, and this is a common fish in Louisiana in the summertime people catch, but if you don't have mahi, you can sub it with anything.
And I mentioned also we didn't dip it in a lot of milk, we didn't dip it in flour. You don't need any of that. Look how beautiful. And of course, I would put it right, I'd put like 6 pieces all around that sauce and let people come and just serve a spoon of it.
Beautiful.
Looks delicious. We're gonna dig into some summertime mahi-mahi that Prince Murat would approve.
Yeah, that'll be on my menu at Revolution before too long. I promise you
Excellent.
that, huh?
Closed captioning is brought to you by Global Outdoors. Find your next adventure and share your experiences with others by downloading the Global Outdoors mobile app or visiting globaloutdoors.com.
One of the reasons why Double D has been around for 50 years is because we are consistent with what built the business. And we go to great lengths to make sure that when you bring a deer or a hog or whatever it may be, your meat stays your meat all the way through the process. But we want to be as true to the original intent, which is a local meat company. And that's something that we want to maintain for as long as the Lord lets us do it.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today. Become a supporter of the Louisiana Wildlife Agents Association today by visiting supportlwaa.org. Browse the selection of exclusive gear, including t-shirts in a variety of colors and styles, plus hats, koozies, and more. Gear up today and support the LWAA.
We're here at White Oak Estate and Gardens, Chef John Folse's estate, where chefs from around the world come to celebrate the hog. From hogshead cheese to boudin, cracklins, backbone stew, sausage, and even raccoon and rooster stew, a John Folse boucherie is a hog extravaganza.
I think just the success of the desire to do it. We want to do it. We have a reason to do it. We're proud of our tradition. We want the world to know it. So the more people we can teach in our own community, and they're here. Not only is it going to grow, but I think it's needed in Louisiana for the professionals as well as those who just want to come eat a good stew.
This event is so much more than a cook-off. Traditions and customs are shared from chefs around the world. It's a new experience for many, and it's an opportunity to educate.
It shows a lot of what our ancestors did, like learning the different parts of the pig, like the shoulder, the butt,
Now
the
you're
butt,
getting more
hand.
into the obscure.
Right.
Each chef adds their personality and culture, which makes for a unique combination of concoctions as well as time-honored recipes.
Healthy amount there, so. Got excited for the tamale meat. All right. And you can open it to make sure it's closed, like that. Yep, and then what you do is just fold that and roll it over. You want to just pinch the end off. You just want to fold that over the seam there. And then you've got your tamale.
And you leave the top part open?
Leave the top part open, yep.
All right.
You're going to put that in the steamer about an hour and a half.
This tamale gets a bonus. This is more like 2, I guess.
Yeah, right? That's the looks. That's the Bayou Wild special right there. So we might raffle that off.
While the event is just one day out of the year, the bonds created from the chefs create a brotherhood. Each chef leaves this event with valuable knowledge to bring back to their restaurants, businesses, and families.
Next time I make the white boudin and the red boudin.
Yes.
I never did this.
But it's been great because you see a mix, especially with John's boucheries. He's got people from up north, from all over, and he always talks about the 7 nations, so he also tries to incorporate the different nationalities into the boucherie.
I would say that everybody here from those 26 states would love nothing more than for us to load up every bit of this, which we have. Nobody else in the world has this. And the trailer to put it in and just take it and set it up just like a circus. The only difference is it's for real.
Continuing the culinary traditions passed down for centuries.
Welcome back to Bayou Wild TV, and we're at one of our favorite places, a regular place we've been recording cooking features since the show started, almost 8 years now, with our friend Chef John Folse, Chef Ian Leday. And John, what is it about your cooking that you enjoy so much about cooking wild game and fish? Not all chefs like to deal with
Well,
that.
you know, growing up in the swamplands of Louisiana, St. James Parish, my dad was a trapper. My mother died in 1955, left 8 children behind. The youngest were twins, just 2 years old. The oldest was my sister. And my dad would spend all of his time with one or two of his friends in the swamp, bringing the food out of the swamp to our table. There was no grocery stores. You couldn't go buy bologna. You couldn't go buy bacon. You had to make it.
You're living off the land.
We lived off of the land. So we grew up in a home full of love, but full of great food. But more importantly, we learned to cook from a very early age. I remember at 8, 9 years old, Daddy teaching us how to do a quail dish like this. So by the time I was 10 years old, I could do 2 or 3 main dishes. By the time I was a teenager, I was a cook. And by the time I was 20, I became a chef. And here I am today.
You've certainly taken fish and game to another level. Chef Ian, you've also come from a background of hunters and fishermen.
That's right. You know, my family's from Pointe-aux-Champs, so we grew up down the bayou in the marsh.
The heart of Cajun country.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Saltwater fishing, duck hunting, deer hunting, you name it.
Well, all of these recipes you can find at jfolse.com. You can also see them on BayouWildTV.com. You're going to see a few of our favorites, including my all-time favorite. You know what that is, Death by Gumbo.
Death by Gumbo. Everybody wants it.
We're about ready to die by gumbo here, Chef.
Okay, well, first of all, I mentioned again, if you look at the swarthiness of that gumbo, there's no onions, there's no particulates in it at all. And that's the rich sauce made with the bones of the quail and Cornish hen roasted with, and then we strain everything out so that everything is actually in the quail. So you have your sauce over there, you have your gumbo, and you just want to, and we bring it to the table and we pour it gently right into the crevice, just like that. I tell you, you could come be a waiter at Revolution. And you want to pour it right to the top of that rim almost. And of course, all of the ingredients inside the quail will start to fall into the soup, and that's the way it's served at the restaurant, nice and clean like that. And you'd be surprised how many people sit down and they say, instead of an entree tonight, can I get 4 of the quail put on a plate with the gumbo sauce around it, and that'll be my entree.
And you tell them, no, I'm sorry, we don't serve
you
like
want
that.
to do, whatever you want to do, ma'am. Anyway, Death by Gumbo. You know, that's the first time I think we do Death by Gumbo on air. So this is,
really?
I don't think we showed this to anybody else.
Can I try it here?
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh, you wait till you try that sauce there.
A little piece of oyster.
That's a good gumbo.
Say bon. I'm ready to die. I'm dying now. I've had it.
What a pleasure to have
Death by Gumbo. Restaurant Revolution. Where is the recipe besides BayouWildTV.com?
Well, you can get it in my wild game book, my cookbooks, and you can get it online because if you go to Chef John Folse recipes online, you're going to find 1,000 of them. You know, so we're happy to give them out.
Y'all go look it up. I'm gonna finish this off.
Or just come eat it at the restaurant. Let me cook it for you. Either way.
Tell us about White Oak. It's not just us coming out here cooking that goes on. You got a lot of stuff going on here.
Well, we're excited about White Oak. I was lucky to be given the gift of buying White Oak about 25 years ago. We sit on about 30 acres of land in Baton Rouge, and it's just a beautiful, we back up to Jones Creek, so we're in the woods in the back. But more importantly, we're one of the great wedding centers of the South. We're one of the biggest in the South. People, brides come from all over the world to have weddings here. But nothing happens here more important than this guy and I when we fire up the stove and we cook our Louisiana food and serve to our guests coming from all over the globe to eat at White Oak Estate and Gardens.
Tell us about your latest thing, the distillery.
Yeah, and that's a new thing that we've done here. About a year ago, we've come up with give me one of those bottles there, Chef. We came out with our Stillwater bourbon and rum a couple of years ago. We've always been intrigued by brewing, and we've always been intrigued by creating good whiskeys. But at some point, I said, what about bourbon? What about rum? We know rum in Louisiana. I don't know much about bourbon. So we studied, we learned, we built our distillery, and now we have a full distillery where we do award-winning bourbon, as we have right here, whiskey on it, but it's bourbon. It's called Stillwater because it's from our stills in here and from the water of Jones Creek. So everything has a story, but nothing more important than the story of what's in this bottle.
How does somebody get their hands on a bottle?
Well, if you want it, you have to pick it up at White Oak. I'm not in distribution because I want people to come and experience not only the whiskey, not only the rum, but I want you to come and bring the kids. Come on by and experience White Oak. It is an experience.
Chef, we've got our Wiener Schnitzel ready to go. Just a few finishing touches, if you would recap what we did with it.
Well, first of all, we took the nice tenderloin of venison and we just kind of trimmed any little sinew that might attach to the side. We want all of that off. We pounded it between wax paper and we really beat it until it spread out really nice. This came from Gunter Preuss, so I mean, over at Broussard, so he told us how the Germans did it. And then we coat it in a little flour, egg, and then seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. There's 3 coatings that go onto it, and the egg makes the breadcrumb stick, and then into the butter and oil combination. I do 50% butter and oil. It only takes a minute and a half to cook it nice and crispy, just like you see it there. And of course,
cast iron.
Cast iron is always best. I mean, hey, we're at the camp, right?
That's it.
We got a nice fireplace.
We
got a nice fireplace, but we're still at the camp. So, but anyway, yeah. Then a little white sauce you can put on top of it. The Germans like to put a little cream sauce. I like to put an egg on top of it. You're gonna what you can
I
put?
Like a little lemon.
Oh, a little lemon is perfect for it.
Yeah, just that little bit of tartness.
Absolutely perfect. And you can make a nice sandwich out of it too. You can put it between biscuits.
Venison Wiener Schnitzel recipes available on our website, BayouWildTV.com, just like all the recipes we do here at White Oak. If they want to get a good hard copy, where is it available?
Right, all they have to do is go and type in Chef John Folse recipes, Chef John Folse cookbook, and you'll get all of the sites. It's available on the website, or it's in any of your bookstores. All the bookstores will have my After the Hunt book, which is the really important one right now. We also have the fishing book and an array of, I think we have 11 cookbooks now, but it's the hunting book everybody should have now, After the Hunt.
I want to test your memory. What page is it on?
921.
Nobody can argue with it.
Delta Marina is Plaquemines Parish fishing one-stop. Get live bait, fuel, ice, tackle, and marine supplies. Then launch into the world's most productive saltwater fishing. Return to the fishing cleaning station, relax in first-class cabins overlooking the bayou, all in Delta Marina's safety video-monitored parking lot. Need a fishing charter guide? Delta Marina can hook you up. Cook your catch in your kitchenette or dine in the upstairs restaurant. Visit Delta Marina for a day or a week. Stop in just off Highway 11 down Rosemarie Drive in Empire. Visit thedeltamarina.com.
In Louisiana, food brings everyone together. These are the flavors that make friends out of total strangers. The flavors that remind you of home. It's the meals you crave, that take time, that show love. Because in Louisiana, we cook. And we know that when we come together to cook and eat, life gets better. So pull up a chair, leave room for seconds and pass a good time. Because life needs Louisiana flavor, baby.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today. Shrimp, probably the most versatile seafood there is. Lots of ways to cook it. But nobody did it like the Louisiana man, Captain Théophile Bourgeois. Not only did he leave us with a lot of great stories, he left us with some delicious recipes coming from the Louisiana man's kitchen.
All right, guys, so today we actually do a little barbecue shrimp here. So you got to start off with a lot of butter. So this is a little pad, a little bit of butter here. So we get that going, get that melting first. So what we're gonna do is my version of barbecue shrimp. So Louisiana Fish Fry has this awesome product. The way they have it on the recipe is no doubt the way to do it, with the whole shrimp heads on. But for us right now, needing the speed that we gotta have sometimes with feeding a lot of people, we're kind of a little short version, a bourgeois version. So definitely we're gonna saute this butter, get it going. This stuff is very potent. So you don't have to put a lot. So it's honestly to taste, and I can tell you this from experience. The longer the shrimp sit, the longer they sit, the spicier it's gonna get. So barbecue shrimp, Louisiana Fish Fry, and you're down here in the Cajun Vista. So I'm actually gonna just kind of get it going. And I like kind of cooking it into the butter. And what I'm doing, I'm put a little handful of shrimp in here, and we're gonna saute the shrimp down. We'll take the shrimp out, and then we're gonna add some rice, and then put the shrimp back on top of the rice. So it could be a Cajun fried rice, as some people say. It could just be enjoying what's very easy. This is a very quick meal. So, as you can see, we're simmering pretty good. We're really there. A low fire is key. It's like cooking bacon, man. You can't be in a rush. So we're gonna put some fresh baritary caught shrimp. I was throwing a cast net off my dock. I caught a handful this morning. If you believe that. The thing is here, man, just sauteing this up. And shrimp, man, 3 minutes. That's basically it. So anytime you fry shrimp, same thing. You don't want to over fry, don't want to overcook. So it's real important to just get to the right part. So we're gonna let this simmer for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna add some chives to it. I'm gonna take the shrimp out, I'm gonna put some rice in, and then reincorporate it. So it's pretty cool. We're gonna give it a couple minutes. So we're gonna put some rice in here. Just happen to have some handy. Sitting right in the right spot. All right, so basically now what we're doing is now we're just gonna incorporate this into the rice. So yes, that's a lot of butter, you're probably saying, but butter keeps you moving, keep your body going. So it's gonna change the color of your rice also. So you can actually cook the rice a little bit. It will give you kind of a popcorn taste. The rice will get kind of a good taste to it, man. So right now you could stop right there and just add your shrimp back into it. I like to let it go just a little bit longer and let actually my rice cook. So right now, this is okay, but as being Cajun, you gotta add gotta have a little more garlic. So we're gonna increase the rice to get a little different flavor. You want the rice to be a little bit different than with the shrimp you're eating. So a little shot of garlic. And we gotta have some good Cajun season, Louisiana Fish Fry season. So again, here's our salt, here's our cayenne pepper. Don't go too crazy with it, or maybe a little crazy. And definitely, we're gonna stir this up. Now you can hear it, that rice frying. So it's definitely there, man. So if more people showed up, you just throw more rice. Or go get a loaf of French bread and have them eat bread and butter before you start serving this dish here. But right now, you'd plate this up and we'd throw a little shrimp right on top. We're good to go. So for keeping it pretty, there you go, man. So that's actually our plate. So that's barbecue shrimp over rice. That's good to go. If you ain't hungry, that'll make you hungry. There you go. Perfect for the in-laws.
Hi, I'm Olivia Grace George, Miss Louisiana 2024. Did you know that Louisiana is one of the world's leading producers of propane gas? Of course, it's used for cooking, cleaning clothes, and heating homes, but it's always been used on farms and businesses across our state, as well as school buses and light-duty trucks. As America looks to cleaner, greener alternative fuels for our future, Louisiana's propane dealers stand ready to meet the need. For more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
We love our children. We protect them. We guide them. We prepare them for life in the world. With all that we do, from deep in our hearts, we cannot control all things. Life-threatening illnesses and disabilities affect far too many of our children each year. While we cannot change the circumstance, we can make dreams come true. Dreams to provide hope, to provide spiritual healing and strength. to provide moments of happiness and relief in the hardest of times. We can give a glimmer of light and hope in a time of darkness and despair. Join huntofalifetime.org to help make dreams come true, to provide hope for children with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Hunt of a Lifetime is a non-profit organization fulfilling dreams for hunting and fishing trips to youth 21 and under with life-threatening illnesses and disabilities. Visit huntofalifetime.org to learn how you can make a difference.
So now we're going to set the gumbo base. Ready, set, gumbo. We're going to set that here, pop. We'll set the gumbo base in a pot. I should add that this is a concentrated product, so it's a half, four cups, but when you add the water, you got a half gallon of gumbo liquid.
Now, how important is it that you get the water to the base mix exact? Can you make it a little thicker or a little stronger?
Very good question, Tom. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, you can, if you like a real thick gumbo, you're gonna get the spiciness with it now. 35 minutes and you eat this gumbo right here.
One of the best things I've learned from cooking with Bayou Wild is it doesn't take an elevated Chef John Folse to make a delicious meal. We love to see what he does, but we love to go into people's homes and cook granovoles, which I didn't know what that was, and to go into just recreational hunter and fishermen's houses and learning the way they take their fishing game and create something special to them to share with you.
All right, so like I said, we dusted it with flour, seasoned it, and we're gonna get the skin side down. You want to see the flakiness on the top part, and the skin will be a beautiful brown, crispy skin. And we're going to ladle some of the Thai curry broth on the side.
So you don't mess up the crispiness?
So you don't mess up the crispy skin.
Oh my goodness, that looks outstanding. All right.
And you can garnish with any cilantro or anything you want to add some color to it, but it's ready to eat like it is right now.
Well, there you have it. We've shared with you some of our favorite recipes and hopes to inspire you to go and cook some of your own.
And you can find them again online, BayouWildTV.com, jfolse.com, and they're also in his wonderful cookbooks. Get out there, hunt, fish, and cook.